Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So today I have a Brindisi replay I wanted to share with you. I've been slowly grinding my Italian line and after initial reluctance and not really enjoying the ships early in the line, starting with Amalfi, I kind of started to enjoy the playstyle that's unique to the Italian cruisers. The sap shells do so much damage, especially against the broadside targets. They also have good speed, they're pretty fast, decent maneuverability, and obviously they have the smoke that they can use while they're in full speed to not be spotted. Of course, there are some downsides around the protection and around the citadel, but I think the playstyle in general is really fun. So I've played maybe 30 or so games in Brindisi. I'm almost done grinding it and grinding her and getting to Venezia. And it's been a surprisingly enjoyable experience. Now, I've had some losses that, I certainly did not like or enjoy, and there were times where I couldn't really get the max out of the ship, so that wasn't fun. But in general, I think I got, I don't know, around 60% win ratio for an average player like me. That's pretty good. In terms of damage, though, is where I have been the most surprised. Is I think my average damage is around 90,000 in this ship, which is a lot more than what it is for some battleships, which is again very surprising. I checked Amalfi just to see what difference it was between tier 8 and tier 9, and Amalfi came in at around 60 something thousand, so a huge increase versus Amalfi in terms of what I was able to do. Now, when it comes to this ship, the way I've been trying to play it is really stay on the flanks because that gets me in a position where I have a very good angle against the battleships and hitting the battleship's superstructure with these sap shells. Um, I have 12 guns in Brindisi, 203 millimeters. It's really murderous. Cruisers, I think it's the same thing. Now, when it comes to smoke, here I had to use it to really kind of mask myself. There is Buffalo and there is Sovietsky Soyuz and Musashi coming from the south. So I had to use the smoke and trying to inflict some damage. But in general, I have not really been using the smoke in this fashion. It would be more to get parallel with the battleships and get myself in a good position that's maybe just outside my detection range, which is around 12.2 kilometers, so it's pretty high. And then sending a 12 sap shells every 17 or so seconds into their superstructure. Obviously, you can use the smoke to try to get out of tight positions like I just did here. But I always felt that, that's not necessarily the best way to maximize the damage that you get from the ship. If you can save the smoke and be safe, obviously, until you're in a good position where then you can just freely, fire away, it's a much better thing. Now, here, I was a little rushed, or should I say, I kind of rushed it to get fast on that flank, which, retrospect may be a mistake. And the speed that the ship has with the flag and so on, I think it's like 38 or so knots. Before you know it, you can get far ahead. And given the high citadel, turning in front of like big battleships, not a good idea. So you have to try and avoid it as much as possible. So that's why I decided to use my smoke there, and now I'm down just two smokes. And I got some damage on the buffalo, but it's not the ideal way, at least for me, to get to use the smoke. Now the ship also has torpedoes. I think they're around 12 and a half or 13 and a half kilometers. They're slow, but it's one of those, just fire and forget about. And I guess it's similar to the high-end, maybe Japanese premium cruisers in terms of, maybe they'll hit something, maybe they won't. So here, after the initial skirmish, I see there is a Musashi, there is a Sovietsky Soyuz, Jean Bart, Buffalo, and I think Fletcher to the side. and my team is really getting to the A cap. I can see where Buffalo is now, and he's backing in behind the island, which gives me a little more space, so I can take the wider outer line and try to get closer. So here my idea is really trying to kind of maybe help with the Buffalo, but by now I see the Buffalo is gone, and the destroyer is further away. So in terms of anyone being able to immediately spot me, it's not something I have to worry. So I decide to move forward, and again, what I would like to do is catch the broadside of the battleships. You can do a lot of damage with these shells, but if you're in a good position, I mean, you can do 10, 11,000 damage salvos, which are like battleship salvos. It's unbelievable. I mean, couple salvos like that, and your damage is before you know it in 50 or 60,000. So now I see Musashi, and it's all the way against the island, so can't really back further away. I know I have great speed in this ship, so I think I've maxed it out. And I think my plan right now is to really start getting close to the ship and maybe get to use those torps. Now, this could be quite dangerous because you don't really see anyone, so it's easy for someone to sneak up on you. And I've seen a lot of videos where destroyers see Italian cruisers, activate their smoke, and before they know it, they're right next to them and torpedoing, sending a boat or three, 10 or 15 torps in their direction and devastating them. Here, I'm going for Musashi. It was a little exposed, so I shot. I didn't really get as much damage as I want. I sent the torps because the firing penalty in smoke here is around 9k. So the fact that I fired already, now Musashi knows that I'm here. But I'm not as worried. I mean, the other two battleships are further away, but nobody has me in their aim, and I'm fully committed now. There is no coming back. Now, what I have going for me is that Musashi's turret turn rate is very slow, so it takes forever to change the direction of those guns. And the torps are going in the direction, the superstructure is exposed, and I'm just hoping that I'll be able to outrun Musashi before he has a chance to take me out. And here, I think after the torps there was a flood, and I get lucky and take him out. I think Sovietsky Soyuz sends a salvo my way, but it's too little too late. And I think it may have been a HE salvo as well, so not as successful. Now, where that Sovietsky Soyuz sits, it's like a perfect targeting opportunity. It's not moving, and that was what, 9 shells, 7 shells hit. So it was like 8 or 9,000 damage. Um, Again, I'm up to 83,000 damage, and it's 10 minutes into the game. So given where my team is and most of the DDs at the cap right next to us, I decide here to maybe try to go around and see if I can engage the Jean Bart. Now Fletcher pops out, and here I make a mistake. I think I have my first two turrets, 6 guns, but I miss. I fire, I think, too far ahead. I didn't expect it to be damaged, and I think it was kind of moving very slow. So, punishing destroyers with these sap shells is, one of the reasons these cruisers exist, because what they can do to destroyers is obscene. Sap shells, lots of power. I mean, I honestly think that I know you can't start fires, but I think it's probably one of the most powerful shells in the game, at least in these higher tier cruisers. So here, Jean Bart. Now, again, here I get, what is that, 7 or 8 hits, and it's like 8 or 9,000 damage. I've sent the torps. Now, I'm, again, afraid for my citadel, so I suddenly kind of pull in, and I'm thinking, okay, it's low health. If I survive 1 or 2, I'll be okay. I think what I didn't notice right away is really that Jean Bart's guns were not pointed in my direction. So I did have a good chance there I could have just stayed open wide and, continue to send shells her way. And then here's Fletcher hiding. He starts to move now, but with these shells, you don't really have a lot of room to go anywhere. So that's a double strike. And now Sovietsky Soyuz has me in her sights. I activate the smoke here, and I think my plan here was, well, let me see if I can get close to Sovietsky Soyuz first, and I'll kind of get off detection. But then I changed my mind. I figured he just fired. We're very close. He's quite open. He has a lot of health. I mean, my Alpha Strike with Torps is not really, the damage is not that high, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to take him out. Here I eat a lot of damage, and he does a good job. But by now we're close. I'm sending my Torps, and again I'm just trying to keep my nose against the Sovietsky Soyuz and continue to bombard him with sap and hope for the best. My Jutland comes down and takes him out before my Torps have a chance to get there. So now I'm thinking, all right, well, this was a very successful run. We are, what is that? 7 ships versus their 5 ships. Quite a lot of battleships. Pretty decent health. I think my job for the day is done. I need to kind of, go a little in the back and recover some of my health, and then I'll see what I'm going to do. But then I notice Riga is there engaging me, and my Jutland is there. So I decide to, okay, well, maybe, my call for vacation was a little premature. Let me turn around and try to engage that Riga. But Riga's already turning away, which is a smart play, really, because if I start chasing her, then it's not going to be necessarily as good. And, Russian ships in general tend to be kind of tough nuts to crack. Even with sap shells, I would rather if she was a little closer, and if memory serves me right, Riga doesn't really have torps, so I wouldn't mind kind of facing off against her. But the player here decides to, well, I'm not interested in playing that game, and moves away. So I kind of start my pursuit, but I am not too interested in just chasing the cruiser. I'm looking at the caps. I see we have 2 versus 2 red ones. So if we can maybe convert that third cap in the south, and then maybe I'll be able to sneak in the back of those BBs at the other cap, the red team BBs, and do some more damage and wrap the game from there. So yeah, we are 100 points behind, but I'm not really that worried of how the game is going to turn out. So I'm trying to use that speed and slowly kind of following Jutland. I decide to stay north of the island, just above Cap, because I didn't want to just engage with Riga. I'm not sure if that maybe was the best move because the firing angles from there are somewhat limited. But nevertheless, looking where the rest of my team is, it looked like a good place to be. But then things, start to change. Iowa takes Lion out. I think that Lion had quite a lot of health. So we're left with 1 battleship, Izumo. Another one is at our cap, Georgia. Then we have Sovietsky Soyuz. So still 3 battleships, 2 cruisers, and a destroyer. And I think we'll do just fine. So we're slowly moving. They've spotted Jutland just on the other side of that island. My Jutland decides not to engage, which I didn't think was the right move because I felt with me backing him up, we should be able to take that Jutland out. And by now we're down to 4 ships versus 5 of theirs. The point differential is 400 points, and we really, don't have time to do much. Uh, the situation is turning desperate quickly. So I decide, okay, well, I'm just gonna go for that destroyer and take a chance that I may be taken out. Riga is kind of visible, but I have my eye on the destroyer. And just around the corner, all I need is just few more seconds, and he's starting to come out, turning just nicely, and 12 sap shells later, it's goodbye. Anyway, Ostergotland is there in the back, and I was just hoping that I may be able to send a salvo his way, but unfortunately didn't make it. Nevertheless, I felt okay, well, let's see if we can get this cap, stop the points bleed, And if these two battleships come out, I'll be in a great position really from the side to take them on. So I go into the cap. Jutland is just north of me. I am detected. So I am thinking that's probably Ostergotland, which just turned away and it's spotting me for their team. I'm waiting for these two battleships to come out, but they are in no rush to come out and play. Now, if I'm to turn around, then I'm facing them, straight on, and that's uh, that's not the ideal way to engage with them in the ship. So I'm trying to get this cap, but I see that either we're getting reset or it's just taking too long. And now I think Riga can see me as well, and she's shooting at me behind the island. So I decide that, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go behind and see if I can get a better angle on that Riga and maybe get behind those two battleships. And where I'm now, it's probably just a matter of time before Oster, if I could talk, could send Ostergotland could send torps my way. Now I sent my torps just in case they come out, but honestly, it seems these battleships are playing it pretty tight to their chest, so not too many opportunities here. So we don't convert this cap, but I mean, we're really running out of points. It's like 400 points, and we need kills, and it's either we take them all out or we are done. So it's down to three of us now, two cruisers and a destroyer. I spot Riga. I'm a little wide, but I get all of my 12 guns, but I don't do as much damage as I hoped. It's only 3 or 4,000 damage, so I try to make it a little tighter. But that also cost me around 6,000, and I don't think I'm still not tight enough. That was like another big hit. So I decide to just bring my 6 front guns against her and not really open my back anymore. For some reason, she just kind of goes ahead and blocks my way here. I'm kind of slowing down because I don't want to. I don't want to hit her, but I also don't want to go too wide against her so that she can hit me. Maybe I could have switched for AP, but I don't think the difference is necessarily that big. Maybe it would have been better AP. I could have gotten citadels and taken her out before she had a chance to really do a lot of damage to me. And then I see Georgia there. I try one more salvo. I fire my torps before I'm destroyed because he was ready for me. The guns were pointed in my direction. None of my torps make it, and we're at 987 points and 991 points. So pretty much this game is a loss. I was glad to have had such a great game. But as always, you want to have a win when you have such a good game. So not scoring a win was quite disappointing. Nevertheless, good game, 180,000 damage, Kraken, double strike, Confederate, top of the chart for my team. Lots of damage, lots of potential. I felt that this game really featured a lot of good things about this ship. Strangely enough, I've been enjoying it. I'm kind of looking forward to Venezia because that's 3 extra guns, and given what people have been saying, and also encountering that ship, I know how damaging it can be, and I just hope it's in the same line as Amalfi and Brindisi. So that's it. That's all from me. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Best of luck on the high seas. Maro out.